Hi, I'm Gilberto Jimenez. My student ID is 00261433. I want to present my project for programming for IT. This time, I made a game. It's on a snake. It's the snake, the classic game of snake. Um, I really changed some stuff on it, so it's not the classic one that we most know. Um, I'm gonna show you first the files. Those are the files that we need to run the game or to play the game. Objects and everything I use, pictures and sounds that I added. I also made a setup, an installer for Windows. So we have two ways to run the game. The first one, we can use Python, Python, in this case PyCharm, to run the game right here, run play. It will run our game using Pygame. It was a resource that I found. It helped me a lot because it has a lot of functions to use to do games. I'm gonna close it and show you later because I'm gonna show you the installer. The installer is made for Windows 64 bits. I tested on Windows 10 because that's the Windows I have here, and I have it right here. When I double click on it, this is the wizard. I'm gonna click remove because I already have it installed, and I'm gonna reinstall it. I'm gonna choose this folder to install the game. So here we have to select the destination directory. I'm gonna copy to make it faster so we don't have to go folder by folder. I'm gonna paste it right here. The good thing about the installer is that it's gonna transfer all our files to the same folder right here, and we're only gonna need to click play snake, and it's gonna have all the libraries and everything. We don't have to have Python installed, and it's a good thing because not everyone has Python. This game is not gonna be like commercialized or published on internet, but I really wanted to do this because I showed it to my father and he doesn't have Python, so it was a way for me to give the game to him. So if we click play snake, the first thing that opens is the Pygame console, or the command prompt, as most of us know. Okay, and then the game. So we're gonna start from here now. This is the main menu. Basically, we are on an open loop, waiting for the user signal. Here we have four options, four buttons. I use one of the Pygame's options field to create those buttons. If we press option, I'm sorry, let me go back. This rectangle, it's associated to the option button, right? By pressing the option, we're gonna call a new function we're gonna call this function that we call it the option menu in this case. Again, this is an open loop too. Right here we have three options. Same, open loop, waiting for the signal of the user in this case. Okay, right here, if we click board, a new function is called. Here we have another open loop. So we have an open loop inside an open loop inside an open loop, like you always told us in the class. Most of the programs are lists, loops, if statements. Basically, that's all this game has. Right here, our program, the game, is waiting for signal. We have here different boards we can choose from. If we press the right arrow, it's gonna increase the index in this case. We use index. We use index to refer to the picture or the board in this case. We have three index, 0, 1, and 2. If we press right arrow, it's going to increase the index by 1. So if we have index 0, in this case, it's the classic board. No obstacles, nothing, just a plain board. If we press right arrow, it's gonna increase the index by 1, and it's gonna call the next picture, that is the borders. I call it the borders because it's all the way borders. If we click one more time right arrow, it's gonna increase again the index to call the complex board. If we click one more time the right arrow, it's gonna bring us back to the index 0. Okay, so we also have two more buttons here, the custom board and the OK button. Let's say we decide to choose the borders. If we click OK, it's gonna save the picture in a list of obstacles in the game's memory. And also, we will return to the options menu like this. If we go back to board, however, we decide to click custom board, we are here again on another open loop, waiting for a new signal. In this case, we can do a custom board. We can draw our board. Right here, this is our filling area. Left click will generate obstacles, and right click will remove them. So we have a list. With our left click, we're gonna save those filled black boxes on a list. That list is gonna be our obstacles list. Save on the memories game, so we can play later. I use a Pygame function .mouse that get the signal from the mouse. Using this, I use a variable that is called hold. As long as the user press the button, it will be true. All the time the button is pressed, it will be true. As soon as the user like remove the finger from the mouse, it will be false. There is another function that is called get press. We use that one to know like which click is it, if it's left click or right click. Left click will fill the portion with black, like here. If we click left, it will fill everything with black. That is gonna be our obstacles. You see? Like that. And right click in this case will fill it with white. So every time we fill up a box or a block with black, it's gonna store it in our list for obstacles list. If we use the right click, it's gonna fill it with white and remove it. Show you and remove it from the list. I'll do this right here. If we press reset, it's gonna reset all the drawing. All the drawing is gonna be reset. Like this, you see? If we click confirm, it's gonna do the same as OK on the last menu. That is gonna save whatever we have here and bring us back to the menu option. I'm gonna click confirm because I want this board to be saved to the memory so we can play with it. Okay, so we are back on the menu, on the options menu. We have another option here that is called speed. I'm gonna click speed and it's gonna call another menu, another function. On this one, we can set the initial speed and the speed increment. By default, the initial speed is 10. 10 is 10 blocks per second per unit growth. That's the initial speed. And the speed increments is what it's gonna increment every time it eats a food. The same. You can choose between 0 and 3 blocks per second per unit growth. So we have a restriction here. When we meet the restriction, it won't let you add more. That's what I said. And the initial speed, the same. I set a limit of 30. In this case, we're gonna leave it at 10 because it's a decent speed to show. If we click back, it's gonna call the option menu again. If we click back, we're gonna go to the main menu. So we're gonna start from the beginning. So now I'm gonna talk about help. Help, we just call, in this case, we call a picture. The picture right here, it just shows instructions. It's just an image. It's an open loop, by the way. It's an open loop because it's waiting for our signal on the back button. So if we click back, it's just gonna bring us back to the main menu. So now let's show you the game. Let's play. If we click a star, it's gonna load and play a little music like just to active the user. Everything here, it's sorry, this thing is loud. Okay, um, everything here is on a new function called play. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I use for what's the mechanism for the snake to move. Actually, what happened is it's every time a new head is drawn right here, and the tail is filled with white. So that's what it makes like the snake moves. When we fill the tail of white, it's calculated as the same speed the head is drawn, or not the speed at the head is drawn. Um, it is based on the speed increase. That speed is going to increase too. Um, that's how the movement of the snake is automatically updated. We also have a variable called pause to stop the game like now. Um, so if we press P like I did, so I can explain, um, it changed like every time we click P, it changed to false or true. False will prevent any updates. Um, and if we click P again and it's false, it's gonna change it to true. If it's true, it's gonna allow updates. Well, while we have updates, it's always the game is gonna be playing. Like everything is gonna be moving. The open loop is gonna be moving. I'm sorry, the loop is gonna be moving. Okay. The open loop right here is waiting, like for the user signals. Here we have to use the arrows. We have up, down, left, and right. If we press up, we want our snake to move up. What it does, instead of drawing the snake right here, it's gonna draw it right here on the top. If we are facing up and we click left, it's gonna draw it right here on the left instead of the right. That's what is gonna make our snake move. Like I'm gonna press P one more time now to make our variable called pause make it true. So every time I click an arrow to the left, it's gonna draw the head on the left. I'm going left and I click down arrow, it's gonna draw it in the bottom. So it's what is make our snake move from one direction to another one. So if the snake I lose. I was going to explain something about the food right there, so I'm gonna explain it now. Okay, if the snake intercept a food portion, in this case we have a bowl, someone pizza bowl. It's red. That's our food portion. The mechanism in this case is the same as the growing. Just that when the snake intersect with the food portion, instead of filling the tail of white, it's not gonna fill it white. It's gonna leave it like that. So that's what it makes our snake to grow. because remember every time that a new head is added. So if we don't remove the tail or fill it with white, it's gonna be growing. Also, we add the speed increment. In this case, it's just gonna increment one because that's what we set on the options. Also, if we if the snake hits herself, it's also an obstacle. A red circle, it's gonna be drawn, and a new function called game over is gonna call. So I'm gonna press pause again one more time so I can make our variable change to true, and updates are gonna be called. If I use the arrows, I'm gonna change the direction of the new head every time. So I'm gonna eat the food portion. Okay, the same time we eat the food, a sound is load and played. As you can see, tail is not removed when we eat the food, and speed increments is going on. Um, I'm gonna hit one obstacle so you can see the new function that is called game over. It also load and play a little music at a drum. So here we display a new function. We use a variable to record the score and tick for the time, so we can show we can display it on this last function. Here we have two more main menu that bring us back to the principal menu, and play the game that bring us back to the play function. So we don't have to choose all the options we did select at the beginning. So it's gonna start from where we were. From where we were. Like we click play again. At the beginning I like that, but now like it doesn't. I don't like it anymore. It's like too loud. Okay. So now I'm gonna hit the snake with herself. It's kinda small to do it now. Let me eat at least two food portion. Okay. Same crash, and then the shutdown. That's all. I hope you like it. My game really made it a little bit easier to do it because it has a lot of functions for games. I